What purpose did the gentlelady from Colorado rise? Shh. Shh. Let's, wait a minute. The House will be in order.
Rhetoric that incites violence. Please stand with me in reflection and prayer in his honor, and I yield the rest of my time for a moment of silence.
Herr Kollege Weiners, wir haben abgesprochen, Sie wissen, dass die Präsidentin jetzt eine Schweigeminute abgelegt. Wir fahren daher fort. Wir kommen zum Bericht von Herrn Stefano
Shut up.
Okay, so for those who don't know what was going on in either one of those cases, the first case was in America. This is in Congress. The lady from Colorado rose to, and the lady from Colorado rises. They ask, "Why are you rising?" The gentle lady from Colorado. She says, "I'm rising because she wants a moment of silence," which is fine. But they had just observed the moment of silence, actually. But she wanted the moment of silence to be then moved into a moment of prayer for Charlie Kirk and his family. Charlie Kirk and his family. The gentle lady from Colorado, where 60 seconds later there was a school shooting in Colorado. The gentle lady of Colorado wants prayer for Charlie Kirk, but not her constituents. Ain't there something wrong with that? Then you had, that was a European Union meeting, congressional meeting, sort of, whatever they, parliamentary meeting. And this dude is trying to say, "Yeah, we want to pray for Charlie Kirk." And the people there like, no. See, here's the thing. Just as America is not a state-funded, a religious-ran country, we are not a theocracy. Thomas Jefferson went at length to ensure that he wrote that America should not fund a state religion, that would violate the Constitution, violate freedom, violate the First Amendment. Your freedom of religion would then be violated. Just as I was trying to explain this on my live the other day to a gentleman, that we are not a Christian nation. That was yesterday. We are not a Christian nation. This is what I was saying. You cannot stand in the middle of Congress and force those Congress people who are Muslim, force those Congress people who are atheists, force those Congress people who are any other religion other than your Christianity to have to pray, or even stand there in silent reverence while you pray. If you want to pray, go pray on your own. If you wanted to pray during that moment of silence, you could have been praying during the moment of silence. But to try to force everyone else to pray for any reason is a violation of church and state. It's a violation of the First Amendment, because you're pushing your religion on me. You're pushing it on everybody else. This government is there to govern. You are not there to determine what religion people should have. And so while there are people on other sides of the aisle who are saying that the Democrats are so disgusting because they didn't want to pray and have that prayer forced upon them, no, they have the right to not pray. Is it not your stance that freedom of speech is what you pull for? So freedom of religion is also what you pull for? Oh no, you want everybody to be Christian. You want to force Christianity on everyone. And this is why we must maintain the defense of the separation between church and state. So I am proud of whomever the people were, especially the lady said, "Fuck no," to praying on the congressional floor. Even with the EU Parliament, I threw that in there because I'm glad that they decided that no, we're not going to allow for this type of thing to interfere with our job, which is just purely govern, and we're not going to force religion on someone, because that's all you're doing, is forcing your religion on someone. And this is why the United States is not a Christian nation. And most of Europe, which used to be Christian nations when they were monarchies, they're not Christian nations anymore. And we see the quality of life is much better in those countries that are less religious than the ones that are religious. You might want to think about that as you try to push Christian nationalism on other people. And as far as if you want to pray for Charlie Kirk and his family, go ahead, do your prayers. Stop trying to force everybody else to feel the same way you feel, be the same way you are. Some of us are not going to have empathy for a man that didn't have any empathy for people who look like me. So why should I have empathy for him? I have empathy for his children. That's it. Just his children. Because no child should have to grow up without a father. That's it. Beyond that, no. And, you know, you cannot sit up there. This is a message for all those right-sided other people. And for the 50 or so people who was on my Facebook who have left because of my stance on Charlie Kirk, but for the new 500 and plus more people who have come to my channel because of the statements about Charlie Kirk. Here's the thing. You cannot sit up there and think that I am going to have empathy for someone who try to utilize this statistic information to demonize certain groups. Someone who would say, see, y'all like to focus on, oh, well, you know, the federal crime rate, but you don't say anything about the fact that he's saying that, oh, black people shouldn't be pilots because they have to have figured out a way to scam the system or, you know, game the system. That these black disgusting women at the customer service, you wonder if she's intelligent enough, but these black women aren't smart enough to get this job. That when he makes the reference, notice when they talk about white on white crime, he never brings up gang violence. When he talks about black on black crime, he's always trying to deliver that extra sweet sauce of gang violence. You cannot tell me it wasn't a divisive person. It's completely a divisive person who utilized the fact that he knows that he can play the scapegoat on the smaller minority group. This is why all these HBCUs got threats after this happened in Utah. This is why black schools in Texas got threats for what had happened in Utah. Now, we all know in the non-white community who the shooter was going to be in Utah. And even the governor of Utah came on the day, and it's so funny what he said. It was so funny when he was talking about, oh, we didn't have any, I'm proud of the Utarians. We didn't have any riots. We didn't have any burnings, any looting. Nah, because everybody knew it was a white guy. But that's just a slight, he's trying to throw a slight at people of color when he said that. But he didn't mention about all the threats to the HBCUs, the threats to the high schools, the threats to people of color. He didn't say anything about all the threats. See, why burn down a building when I can just threaten to burn down your whole college at an HBCU? You don't say anything about that. You see, they like to pick and choose. And what did the governor of Utah say? Well, you know, we was all hoping it wasn't one of us. We was all hoping that it wasn't one of us. But it turns out it was one of us. And yes, you're going to say he meant, oh, just people from Utah. Because he did say, I was hoping it came, because he backed it up. We was hoping if somebody drove from another state, that somebody came from another area, but not a Utarian, whatever he called them. You see what I'm saying? This is why we got problems with y'all. Because you can't deal with the truth. And then you want us to be on your side. That's another problem. Now, you want to talk about a real problem with black people? And I know this video now went totally off the rails to something else, but I'm almost done. Let me tell you the real problem with black people. Black people have been so fucking forgiving and so fucking accommodating over the generations since we've been in this country that the moment we stop being accommodating, we got a problem with it. And I'm here to tell you that we are becoming less and less accommodating for the bullshit. So you want me to have some feelings, soft feelings for Charlie Kirk? No, only his children. And hopefully they won't become tainted like their father, but only his children. And he said, I got empathy for his wife, because I don't know the lady, but only for his children. That's it. And nobody deserves that, to have that happen to them. But y'all want me to, you're not going to get this sympathy from black people. We're tired of being your shoulder to lean on, and then we become your shoulder to stand on. So y'all have a great day, and always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.